Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your reading. This is a collective reading for anyone with major Gemini placements, or if you were just intuitively guided here, I'm sure there's a message for you as well. All right, let's dive right in together. I haven't pulled any cards yet, but one just jumped out. Let's see what wants to come through for you today. So the card that flew out is the Nine of Wands. I feel like you're having a realization that you want to manage your energy differently or feed your energy into something else. You have, despite being an air sign, in this moment, what I feel is that you're very connected to the element of fire within yourself. The suit of Wands is, of course, associated with fire. You have a lot of fire in you, so perhaps you have major fire sign placements as well, or you could just take this symbolically. You have a lot of life. You have a lot of inspiration and motivation and passion that you want. I'm just seeing like sparks, like a little sparkler in my mind's eye. You have a lot of passion and drive and inspiration that you want to feed into something, but you're at this point in your journey where you're realizing that you've been pouring your fire into something that is not only not giving back to you, but potentially draining you and taking you in circles. You see how the wands here, they're forming what almost looks like a cage. This can also speak to, like I just said, going in circles. This can speak to looping within a pattern of pain. No matter how hard you're trying to make something work, it's just never really working. And so the Nine of Wands can either indicate that, Spirit is saying, push a little harder, you're almost there, you're so close, this will be worth it, I know it's hard, but keep going. Or, as I feel for you in this moment, it's Spirit saying, you're waking up to the fact that this isn't working because it's not for you. Okay. So, I'm focused very much on the bandage on this man's head. This is the energy of being battered, right? Whatever it is that you've been trying to make work, it's like the energy of it punching you back rather than nurturing you or lifting you up or feeding the inspiration that you're pouring into it. It's just like you're getting punched by this thing, at least energetically. And so again, there's like that dawning realization I can see in your eyes here, like, oh, it might be time to walk away from this. I don't think I want to do this anymore. Ooh, King of Wands, more fire. Yeah. This is the energy that you're ready to step into. I feel like you are the man in the Nine of Wands activating your inner King of Wands. So this is what you feel on the inside, or this kind of energy is growing within you as we speak. This is the motivation to make some kind of really powerful move, to make some kind of big executive decision in favor of your passion, your spiritual connection, your sense of direction. The King of Wands is bold. He is very big and bold. He's not afraid to make epic power moves. So I feel like that's the energy building within you now. It's like I'm seeing a spiral, but it's going up. So maybe there's energy building from the base of your chakra system that's going up, 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 up. Yeah, it's almost like this realization has moved through your entire body from the ground up, and now it's kind of, it's now spiraling up through your upper chakras, your heart, your throat, your head. This has been a full body realization that has been building for quite some time. Okay. So what is this epic power move that you're ready to make? Do you need to say something to someone? Do you need to walk away? Do you need to lay down the law? You know, king energy is action. So what kind of action do you need to take? What kind of action are you inspired to take in favor of yourself? Okay. Tell me a little bit more about Gemini's general energy. Again, I feel like you're that man in the Nine of Wands, but I want to go a little bit deeper. Should I pull from here? Yes, actually, let's pull an oracle card before I forget. This is the Holler Moon Mountain Oracle deck. And obviously, I'm just using the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. Tell me a little bit more about the energy or experience that Gemini is currently going through. I've said this before in previous readings, but nines in their own way, as in the Nine of Wands, the number 9 is its own kind of point of completion. Like something has to change because a cycle is completing or it is about to be completed. So this is kind of a peak cumulative moment in your story with something or your relationship to something. I'm hearing it can go no farther. Magic! Ooh! This star reminds me, it's just connecting in my mind to the staff, which is technically the Ace of Wands that the king is holding. So this Ace of Wands is your magic. Oh, that's funny. I just laid them down in a really interesting way. The center of this star, and also, by the way, the symbol of a star, the actual shape that is the star, 5-pointed star, that came through in the last collective reading, which was called You Are Limitless. So I feel like there's a bridge connecting that reading to this reading for you specifically. If you haven't seen it already, maybe check it out. But I'm just drawn to the fact that it almost looks like there's a magnifying glass or some kind of glass portal in the center of the star here. So it feels kind of like you're seeing through something. Holler at the bottom of the deck. This is a sacred space within the dark woods, which can be kind of confusing and disorienting. So maybe you are finding your magic, which is a sacred space. When you can access your own magic, which right now I feel is embodied by the King of Wands. When you can access your own magic, not despite darkness and confusion, but because of it, you're in your power. And that's what you're doing right now. And if you don't feel like you're doing that and you're just solidly in that exhausted Nine of Wands energy, like when is this going to end? I feel like this is Spirit saying, take this loop of pain that you're in with something and use it to clarify what you'd rather experience instead. And then take that bold action, that executive decision, that power move in favor of your magic. Because again, I feel like you're so connected to your own fire, whatever that means for you personally. You're so connected to your fire, your magic, your inspiration. You want to protect it. It's sacred to you. You're ready to do that. Okay, let's go back to tarot. Tell me a little, should I go into Gemini's general energy? Yes. Show me a little bit more about Gemini's general energy. I'm just seeing a barrel. It's an old, well, the word oak is coming to me. I don't know. It's just wood. It's an old wooden barrel with like iron rings at the top and the bottom that you would keep, I don't know what in, wine? I'm not sure. but that to me is speaking to this energy of preservation, preserving or protecting your magic. Queen of Swords. Wow. So maybe the bold action that you're feeling ready to take is speaking the truth. Your throat chakra is clearing, maybe because you're so connected to your fire. You're inspired to say something, or that inspiration is certainly growing. You're so, again, it's like not despite the pain or the darkness or the confusion, but because of it, you're clarifying your truth. You're ready to speak your truth. It's the bird above her head. It's very, very tiny, but hopefully you can see that. The bird above her head is again connecting me all the way back to the fact that you're having an epiphany. You're having some kind of awakening here about what your personal truth is. Seven of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Okay, two things. One of two things. Either I feel like the truth that you are ready to speak is about how someone or something in your life is deceptive, or it is of the energy of shadow and manipulation. Okay, that's potentially why you're stuck, or you feel like you're stuck. You're never actually stuck, but you have this feeling that you are stuck in this loop of exhaustion. Like, no matter how hard I try, the situation is not changing. You see now, you know now, and you can say now, it's because something about this person or situation is misaligned. And you're ready to point it out. Maybe call somebody out. Or at least call out the situation to yourself and admit the truth to yourself that something is, maybe something's broken. There's sneaky, deceptive energy here. Something is maybe not as it appears to be, or someone is not as they try to appear to be, okay? Or option number two, this could be that you're ready to admit to yourself that you want to use your energy much more efficiently. So in its exalted state, the Seven of Swords is, of course, not a bad thing. It's the energy of strategizing, being much more efficient, planning ahead, maybe even finding a shortcut, not because you're shunning obligation, but because there's no need to exert excess energy, right? It's just efficiency. So take it how it resonates. Let's clarify with an oracle card. Tell me a little bit more about Gemini's general energy. This could also be you gathering up your stuff and walking away. You're saying, yep, no, I'm going to take my energy and my focus and take it somewhere else. Okay. But however it's manifesting for you, you know, the swords, suit of swords is essentially about your thoughts, your beliefs, and your mental focus. So you are certainly ready in some way, shape, or form to focus differently, to focus in a different way or on something else completely, so that your fire is not wasted. Tranquil. And rest at the bottom of the deck. Okay, yeah, you're definitely ready to recover from this. You're done with that. So in your energy here, again, this is your general energy. There's a real emphasis on the truth that you need a break. You need to break from something, or a break from something. You need right now to prioritize rest, recovery. And as I always like to say, rest doesn't automatically mean sleeping. Rest is whatever helps you to recover from depletion. So that's part of your truth as well. What is the primary challenge that Gemini is facing? Interesting that I stuttered a little bit just a few minutes ago. I stuttered and I did kind of feel like it was a little bit difficult for me to talk. You might be needing to work up the courage to say something. But even if you stutter, keep going. What's the challenge? Clarify the challenge that Gemini's facing right now. Five of Wands, more wands. Five is obviously a very disruptive, ungrounding kind of energy. I think the Five of Wands also came up in that collective reading, You're Limitless. So now we have two kind of references here to that last collective reading. So this could be you at war with maybe different parts of yourself, or a person or a situation outside of you. You know, you could be battling it out with this person or situation that is an uphill battle. It's this futile kind of battle, you know, because it's not meant for you. If something's not meant for you, if you don't really want it in your heart of hearts, the universe isn't going to let it work out, or if it does, it won't probably last, right? So this could just be representing, you know, your challenge is that you're just kind of locked in this energy of bickering with your situation, bickering with the universe, or bickering with parts of yourself. Maybe some part of you does want to just keep trying. Maybe some part of you is saying, no, 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 no. Like, we've been trying to make this work for so long. There's no way we're giving up now. We must be so close. It's darkest before the dawn, right? We've got to keep going. We have to stick with it. Maybe some part of you doesn't want to come across as like a commitment phobe, or you don't want to seem like you're the type to give up when things get hard, right? But then this other part of you is saying, excuse me, no. We're so done with this. This is not serving me at all, other than to clarify the truth that this is not for me. Okay, Knight of Cups at the bottom of the deck. For some of you, I'm immediately feeling like there's an aspect of you that wants to have compassion for somebody else that's in your situation or that you're involved with. There's a part of you that is unbelievably compassionate, empathetic, understanding, wants to extend love to another who's maybe struggling. It could even be this other person who's, you know, manipulative or has a hidden agenda or whatever. Like, you want to understand somebody even when they're hurting you, intentionally or unintentionally, okay? So that could be an internal war some of you are experiencing. But I also see this as the challenge being your heart is leading you out of the battle. Whether it's internal or external, your heart is trying to lead you out of this futile energy, this ungrounding, distressing, exhausting energy. So the challenge would be listening to your heart in this case. And again, I'm going back to that image of the energy spiraling from the bottom up. It's now going through your heart this knowing that's activating from the ground up. It's now passing through your heart. So your heart is carrying this truth, and maybe part of the challenge for you is speaking from your heart, even if that means being incredibly vulnerable. Let's clarify the challenge with an oracle card. This is the Holler Moon Mountain. Did I already say that? Clarify the challenge. Rage. Look at that fire. Wow. Yeah, you don't want to do this. Okay, steps. Your rage is sacred. Your rage is part of your truth. Okay? And there is also a war or battle, not an actual war, but you know what I mean. A battle here raging that you need to start taking steps out of. Your heart is saying, let's go. One step at a time, we're going to leave this behind. We need to be grounded. We need to be proactive. We need to start climbing up and out of this futile loop. This is not for us. Oh, and then love at the bottom of the deck. What would someone who loves themselves do? One of my favorite questions from Teal Swan. What would someone who loves themselves do in your situation? And look at the strength card at the bottom of the deck. You might be afraid to leave, or you might be afraid to say something, but that doesn't mean it's not aligned. So let's look at the advice. Advice for Gemini. Advice for Gemini, Spirit. Okay, 3 of Pentacles. This is all about you knowing your worth. You know the value that you bring to the table as it relates to other people. Not only do you know your value just in and of yourself for yourself, but beyond that, you know the value that you can bring to others. So, and the pentacles up here, the stars, are referencing back to your magic. You know how valuable you are, and you want to be surrounded by people who just naturally recognize your incredible gifts, your skills, your wisdom, your value. They recognize it all on their own. You don't have to try and convince them or prove them of anything, right? Prove to them anything. And they want it, right? They want to include you in their process, in their work, in their project, in their lives, because they see how valuable you are, all on their own. That's the kind of relationship you want to enter into, whether it's a work, business kind of relationship or a friendship, romantic, take it how it resonates. Okay, what's at the bottom? Queen of Pentacles, the star again in the pentacle. Let's pull an oracle card right away to clarify this. There's just an emphasis here on how choosing the right relationships right now, or the right kind of relationship, is the highest form of self-care. That is restoration. Okay. So perhaps, only you can know, but perhaps by listening to your heart and speaking a truth that in some way this is not working for me, I need to manage my energy in a different way or focus in a different way. By speaking the truth to someone, there's an opening here to collaborate, to work more efficiently together with someone or an energy. It's possible, okay? Or maybe you know it's all over. What I need to do is pack up my stuff and go. And Stay focused on knowing that the most life-giving kind of relationship to me is one in which I don't have to work overtime to prove myself. People just inherently see my worth, my skills, my gifts. You don't have to fight to be seen when the relationship is right. Clarify the advice for Gemini. Death. Okay. There's a major transformation here, and time. Ooh, interesting. Maybe it's time for a death. And a death simply, as I'm sure you know, death means a releasing, right? It's like the clock has run out on this thing for many of you. The clock has run out. You have learned how to value your own magic through this entire process, even though it's been very challenging. You've learned what you needed to learn through it. And so for many of you, it has served its purpose and it's time to let it go completely. 26 on the timer. Or at the very least, if you think that there's still a chance that this situation or relationship could possibly work out, then I feel like Spirit is saying there needs to be a ground up transformation in the way that you've been connecting and relating. Okay. And that might take some time, but maybe it's worth it to you. Okay. Let's get some journal prompts and then a closing message. This is my journal prompt deck, the Codex of Questions. Journal prompts for Gemini. Certainly there needs to be an end to you, again, overexerting yourself, overworking, working to burn out in order to try and gain some kind of external recognition from someone. Are you being realistic or are you avoiding gratitude? Very interesting. So maybe there's something here about, again, referencing that collective reading. There's something here about the power of gratitude, choosing with your free will to embrace gratitude and joy in any way that you can. That is you and training with the life you want and the version of yourself you want to be. And so it might be easier for you to know your truth, follow your heart, let this transformative death releasing process happen when you're already more so in a state of gratitude and joy or appreciation. That's so funny. And again, like that was referencing the collective reading, because I think one of the questions that came through me in that reading was, if you were already happy, what would you admit that you want? If you knew that you only had one more month to live, what would you do with that month and why? This is connecting to that time card. Time is running out in a existential scary way, but in a good way. Like time is running out on you staying here. That's exactly what you want. So, and this is also speaking to being more efficient with your time. If you already had everything you currently desire, what would you desire next? Okay, so answer those questions for yourself, see where they take you. Let's get a closing message from a compendium of Witch's Oracle. Closing message for Gemini, 29 on the timer. Okay, just slid right out. 45, Storm. Let's see what the guidebook says. Yeah, okay. Hardship, unclear vision, and confusion. At the first drop of rain, the songbirds go quiet, searching for a hiding place in the thicket. Ash-colored clouds gather above, carried by heavy winds. The darkening sky is briefly illuminated by a sharp gash of lightning before thunder fills the air with its deep rumble. And I feel like lightning, thunder and lightning, it's kind of like fire and air combined, right? Okay. The storm card evokes nebulous images of adversity, turbulence, disorientation, and uncertainty. Well, storms are also incredibly clarifying. So you have, that Five of Wands, the Rage card, the Nine of Wands, Seven of Swords. It's like all of this stormy weather, metaphorically speaking, the stormy weather in your life, it's clarifying something, it's purifying something. What is left standing after the storm passes is what is real. And that's a good thing. Okay. All right, Gemini, thank you for letting me read for you. I hope this was helpful or at least thought-provoking. If you have questions or comments, leave them down below. I'd love to hear from you. The journal prompts and all my links will be in the description box. I'll see you again soon. Bye.